You ready to get into a topic?
Absolutely.
All right. Well, let's talk about the benefits of boredom.
Hey. Oh.
Stay tuned. This is the Unexpected Podcast. So, Lee, whenever we're bringing up a topic, it's good to define the topic.
I'm bored.
So how do you define boredom?
Not having anything to do, wanting to do something, but not being able to.
Okay. So you're bored right now in my presence?
No, I'm actually quite excited.
Well, yeah. When I think about boredom, I think there's like a boredom, like you said, where you can't find anything that you want to do that's satisfying. Mm-hmm. Or to me, sometimes boredom is you're in a tedious task that you have to do, you need to do, but you're finding it boring. But let's talk about some benefits of boredom. I've got some ideas, but does anything spring to mind when you think about the benefits of boredom? Idle
hands are the devil's workshop.
Okay. Is being idle the same as being bored?
Yeah, because, if you're bored, your hands are idle, you're not able to do much of anything, you're more likely to get into trouble.
Are you speaking for yourself?
Just past experience.
Okay. All right. Well, okay. So you're really addressing the downfalls of boredom rather than the benefits.
Well, we got to be the protagonist here,
or the antagonist,
antagonist or whatever.
Okay.
Is that the antagonist? Protagonist. Yeah. You're protagonist on this. I'm antagonist.
I guess so. All right.
So the protagonist. What are some of the benefits of being bored? Well, I mean, I know it's maybe some peace of mind, maybe. Mm-hmm. Maybe being able just to contemplate life, but that can be bad too because, what if you got a lot of bad stuff going on, Yeah,
so there is a time, I think definitely there's a time to, where it's okay to distract yourself, because when you're going through those difficult seasons, sometimes you just kind of have to tune out and distract yourself with something that maybe is a little mind-numbing, but that's not really a good way to live all of life. So here's a couple of thoughts I have on this. We've been kind of like that lately, haven't we?
A little bit.
A little bit. But now this I know from observation as well as personal experience, and also even psychology bears this out, that when a person is forced into a situation where it's perhaps boring, that's when creative juices actually flow.
Yes.
So sometimes, we've noticed this in our children when they were younger. Mm-hmm. Maybe we would, they might be grounded from television for a week or something like that. And I always found that when they were forced to entertain themselves, they became more creative than usual.
Yeah.
So I think there's definitely benefits in that regard. And I think what I'm really driving at here is we have so many distractions in our current culture that a lot of people, I would dare to say, never allow themselves to be bored. Because there's always something. You can always scroll on your phone. You can play a game. You can listen to the news. You can watch television. There's always a distraction going on.
I see where you're going.
If you choose to always be distracted.
Yeah.
And so I think we've gotten to a place where that's become normal. Mm-hmm. And so to have to just sit and do nothing is a real struggle for some people.
Yeah.
But there can be some great benefits to actually forcing yourself to do that.
Well, the Word of God also says, be still and know that I am God. Sometimes you just need to just sit and stare.
Yeah.
Off into nothing.
Yeah.
And boredom, from your point, is healthy.
Right.
At times, it seems like.
The
way you're talking. And so that means that we don't have to always be entertained. Mm-hmm. We don't have to, pay attention to the circus.
Yeah.
That's a
good way to put it. The circus. Well, I came across something interesting because, when most of my life I didn't need glasses. I had great vision, both,
and pretty eyes.
Oh, thank you.
Great vision and pretty eyes.
Yeah, I didn't need glasses for long distance. I didn't need glasses for reading. As I've gotten older, I spend 8 hours a day looking at a computer because of my work. But I was listening to an eye doctor, and I had never thought about this, but he was saying that one of the reasons people's eyes weaken faster than they need to is because our eyes were designed to look in the distance and then look up close. Like, there should be a balance of those things. But most people are constantly looking at things up close, looking at phones, looking at screens. He said, really, go outside, spend 45 minutes to an hour every day. Just look at clouds, look at trees, and it's actually healthy for your eyes. So it's interesting that there are even physical benefits to getting back to the simplicity of living.
Doesn't it have to do like your ocular muscles?
I don't know if it's called ocular. I guess
whatever
so. But
it
it's the muscle in there.
Yeah,
you
whatever
know
they
more
are.
than I do about that.
No, I don't know. But, I made that word up, I think. Ocular.
Well, it sounds right.
Sounds good.
Yeah, but it is had something to do with that muscle. And so
optical. I'll look it up later.
But it is something with the muscle that's on the sides of the lens that should be working more often, going far away. Yeah, that's right. And up close. So it's interesting that, to me, like, it's important to think, how was our body designed by God?
Mm-hmm.
And what are the ways to keep it healthy? So again, we know that bombarding ourselves with information isn't healthy. If you're jumping from one thing to the other and you're never going deep, it actually instills anxiety in you. So you've got to be able to step away. And I can remember my older sister talking about our childhood, and we can remember, I can remember even my dad and some of the, old timers, as we would say now, seeming like they could just sit outside in a chair and just maybe sit with some people, but just enjoy the simplicity of being.
I would love to be able to do that.
You can.
Now, I've been made to over the past few years.
Well, right. And you and I now, we both have a tendency that once we sit for a while and get rested up, then we're ready to jump off to the next thing.
Yeah,
that's okay too.
Yeah, I guess it's all right.
Yeah. Well, going back to what you said about being still, I love that verse, Psalm 46:10. I think, be still and know that I'm God. And of course, stillness doesn't always mean, it's really talking about the stillness of our soul. It doesn't mean a lack of activity.
And learning how to be.
Yeah, no matter what you're doing.
No matter where you're at. Wherever you go, there
you will be. All right, well, I've got a couple of books on the table. Did you notice?
Wendell Berry.
Yeah, Wendell Berry.
Didn't you take his class or something?
Okay, Wendell Berry, the great writer, novelist, poet, and also writer of essays. I had the opportunity to take his class when he was a professor at the University of Kentucky. Mm-hmm. And guess what?
What?
I was a lollygagger, and I didn't get registered for classes soon enough.
Oh, let that be a lesson to you students.
Exactly. The semester that I wanted to take his class, it got filled up. So I had another very interesting creative writing teacher that semester and learned a lot. But this book is autographed by Wendell Berry, because actually in 1997...
To Amy.
Yeah. September 20th, 1997, Wendell Berry. Interestingly, I didn't get this autograph while I was at the University of Kentucky. This was after I'd already moved to Muhlenberg County, where I met you, and went with one of my coworkers to Western Kentucky University and got this book. Anyway, that being said, he's somebody who, if you know anything about Wendell Berry, then you'll know he's somebody who understands the simplicity. He's a little resistant to modern living.
Nomenclature? I don't know. That's just a word that I
you just
heard.
Like saying it?
I wanted to say nomenclature.
Okay, I do like that word.
It's a cool word.
But this is a very, very short poem that I'm going to read. Okay, but this is this book of poetry I've got in my hand.
Read away.
All right, and here's another interesting thing. Before I get into reading from this book, as well as a little something from this book, there's a move. I don't know if you've seen this, but all over Instagram, Twitter, wherever, young guys, like teenage guys, are getting classic novels and reading them and talking about them online.
Oh, cool.
It's almost like there's this move back towards hey, we're getting ripped off. We're not learning any of these things in school, but there's this like hunger. Like these young guys read like the Brothers Karamazov and just like absorbing it. And it's pretty cool. All right.
Brothers Karamazov don't have nothing to do with.
All right. So let me just read. This is called The Peace of Wild Things. When despair for the world grows in me, and I wake in the night at the least sound, in fear of what my life and my children's lives may be, I go and lie down where the wood drake rests in his beauty on the water, and the great heron feeds. I come into the peace of wild things, who do not tax their lives with forethought of grief. I come into the presence of still water, and I feel above me the day-blind stars waiting with their light. For a time, I rest in the grace of the world, and I'm free. So I love that because, first of all, he acknowledges that we all get into a place of despair.
Well, and he mentioned a drake. That's a duck, for those of you that don't know.
That's right.
And resting on top of the water, that's great imagery.
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
Yeah, and so, sometimes
learning how to be.
But sometimes that takes action. So his action was, I'm going to step out of my despair and I'm going to go spend some time in nature, observe what nature does, and, be still.
Know my nature.
And then get...
Sorry.
You're in rare form today. It is a Monday for us while we're recording this podcast, and it has been a Monday, hasn't it?
It has. It has been full of many things. We were not a little bored.
I don't know what piece of literature it's from, but, you'd often hear, especially in old British literature, instead of saying, instead of saying we were very joyful, they would say things like, we were not a little joyful.
We were not a little bored.
And so, we were not a little bored today. We would have liked to have been bored today, right?
Right.
But it was a little chaotic.
Yes.
That's okay.
It's all right.
Good. I've got another little thing that I want to bring up, unless you just want to, if you got some thoughts.
Well, I think whenever we take on the whole boredom thing, boredom is a state of mind. It is a place of desolate lack. There's like a desolate, there's a lack, a void,
fulfillment,
a fulfillment. Maybe. Yeah, I guess that's the best way to put it. But when we have Christ, we can think on those things that He has done for us.
Yeah.
We can think on the things of God. Like you said earlier, looking out and exercising your eyes, but that's not only doing that, it's exercising your soul, because you're looking at trees and the things that God has made, and you're sitting and just being thankful is a good thing too.
Yes.
Not taking on all of the problems and the ups and downs of the world, but actually just being in His presence and loving on God and letting Him love on you.
That's good. And we're a three-part being. We know we're body, soul, and spirit. And so if you're doing things that are refreshing to your soul, that's going to refresh your body, and vice versa. And so it all works together. That's good. Being thankful, and I just read something today that was talking, haven't delved into what the study was, but apparently a study was done, and, people who prayed regularly, aged much slower. It even slows down the aging process because it's interacting with God.
Man, I must not pray enough. I'm getting all kinds of gray.
Well, maybe that's wisdom though on your part, right?
Yeah, that's what we'll call it.
That's what we'll call it.
It's nothing to do with stress.
Or, whatever. They say copper deficiency. I don't know. Who knows? Well, you look good with your gray. It's very distinguished.
You look good with my gray.
I thought you were going to say I look good with my gray. And, you know better than to say that, though, right?
I do.
Right? Even though you see my gray hairs, you don't say anything about them?
There are no gray hairs there.
Oh, okay.
0 gray hairs.
Oh, good.
Your beauty outlasts all of us.
The hair color job worked.
You color your hair?
No, never. Only a little. All right.
What do you got?
Okay, so I love this book, Devotional Classics. And really it's devotions taken from throughout the different centuries. This from Francois Fenelon.
Francois.
Yeah, and he was writing, well, he died in 1715. So he was actually part of Louis XIV's court, but he was a truly dedicated man to God. And I love this. I'm just going to read a little part of his book. This comes from his book called Christian Perfection. Christian perfection is not so severe, tiresome, and constraining as we think. It asks us to be gods, not gods, but God apostrophe S, meaning it asks us to belong to God from the bottom of our hearts.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, basically that's it, right? It's like, oh, that's surrender. That's
full surrender.
Belonging to God.
Yep.
And since we thus are gods, everything that we do for him is easy. Those who are gods are always, and again, those who are, belong to God, are always glad,
possessive,
when they are not divided, because they only want what God wants and want to do for him all that he wishes. They divest themselves of everything, and in this divesting find 100-fold return. I like that. There's more that he writes here that's really good stuff, but I think that's a good place to stop on that one.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because we're not our own, right? And so sometimes, but you forget that if you don't just step away from everything.
We are not our own.
Yeah.
We were bought with a price. When you accept Christ into your life and he comes into your being and your salvation journey starts, the grace of God abounds. Mm-hmm. It refreshes. It, takes you in a place of peace and love and tranquility. And that's wonderful because we become gods. We become the property.
Yes.
And not just property, but loved ones.
Right. Sons, daughters.
Sons and daughters of God.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we belong to God.
Well, let me ask you this. Because life involves problems that have to be solved. Mm-hmm. When do you think that you get the best insight into coming up with solutions?
When I'm quiet and I'm sitting still.
Mm-hmm. No, interesting.
It is. When I shut my mouth.
Yeah.
And I shut my brain off.
Yeah. Right.
And I sit and I just be.
Yeah.
That's when the answers usually come.
Yeah.
When you least expect it.
Yeah. Sometimes it's when you're not searching for it. I mean, sometimes in the shower, it's like, because you're just in there and I'm, for me, I'm not thinking, it's just relaxing. And then all of a sudden you get some kind of understanding or insight into something. Or when you just step away. I mean, I've learned this through the years, and I've advised people who, coworkers, and it's like when you get stuck on something and it's just, you can't get, because you use this phrase a lot, I got to get my head wrapped around it.
Yes.
But whenever I can't get my head wrapped around something, that's when it's time to just step away.
Walk away.
And it's so amazing that how when something seems so confusing, one day, the next morning, it becomes clear.
Yeah.
Solutions can become clear.
We're musicians. You play bass, I play guitar. Mm-hmm. And sometimes when I'm trying to figure out a riff or a rhythm or something, I'll practice and practice and practice. Sometimes I just can't get it.
Yeah.
I set it down and I come back to it later and it just happens.
Right.
Sometimes you have to walk away.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good one. That's a good one.
That's a good one to end on.
I think so.
Sometimes you just have to walk away and be bored, quote unquote, and just be.
Right. I think that's a good challenge for all of us this week. Take a time, just do something you wouldn't normally do. Like if it's not freezing cold like it's been here, go outside, sit, look at a tree. I mean, today I just went out for a walk because it finally got warm enough and it was sunny. Mm-hmm. And I just went for a walk and I was looking at trees, and all of a sudden it's like, I look at trees all the time, but I was really looking at trees and just noticing how, like, when the trees have lost their leaves, they really do look like lungs.
Yeah.
Like the way that you see the lungs with the way the whatever the alveoli and whatever they're called.
Tubes.
Bronchial tubes. Thank you. And it's like, that's pretty cool. But just take some time to do something you wouldn't normally do. Step away from the noise, get quiet and just
learn how to be.
Yeah.
That's
and,
the message of the day.
Yeah, and learn to listen for the Lord, because He may have something to speak to you and show you. And well, not that He may, He does. He always does. It's just how much are we willing to get quiet and listen.
That's good.
So I think that's good too. Well, thank you all so much for tuning in. And please don't forget to like this video, share it, subscribe. It really does help us out, help us reach more people.
Yep.
And on that note,
see y'all later.
Don't forget to like this video and please subscribe to our channel. Drop your comments below. We'd love to hear from you. If you prefer audio podcasts, please follow us on your favorite streaming platform.